Good evening, everyone. This is going to be my last night in the garage, or at least in this garage, but it's been real nice. We got the Christmas lights up, but flying back to my studio tomorrow. But I thought we'd have another conversation. Let's share some thoughts. Tonight, I want to talk about what it means to be grounded. I'm sure we've heard that term thrown around a lot, to make sure that you stay grounded. Keep your emotions grounded, keep your nervous system grounded, remain grounded, get grounded. What does that mean exactly? So, ate some hot cocos, good stuff. Love doing this, having a conversation and some hot cocoa. But yeah, what does it mean to be emotionally grounded? Well, where does that term even come from? Let's start there. It comes from electromechanics. It's language from electromechanics. I'm very familiar with what it means to be grounded in electromechanics because I've spent a lot of time working on automobiles, working with electrical circuits, auto mechanics, etc. So what it means to be grounded in terms of electricity and mechanics and engineering, what it means to be grounded is the electricity needs to be connected physically to the ground. There needs to be a connection to the ground, to the earth, to create safety for any excess or stray electricity. This way, any excess or stray electrical charges will dissipate into the ground, into the earth, and it'll protect the equipment, it'll protect the circuit board, it'll protect you, anybody who's working on it, from electrical shocks. That's why it's so important for electricity to be grounded. It's for safety, okay? That's what it means. So that's where the term grounded comes from. Now, what does this mean for attachment styles? Anxious, avoidant. What does this mean for relationships? What does this mean for your nervous system? Well, I just described to you electrical grounding. So the same concept applies to emotional grounding. Not that your emotions need a physical connection to the ground the way electricity does, but it's the same idea, the same concept. Your nervous system will activate all kinds of emotions. When it's in overdrive, when it's in survival mode, it'll activate anger, it'll activate sadness, frustration, all kinds of emotions, all kinds of behaviors. When those emotions are not put in check, it can hurt people. It can hurt you can hurt yourself. You can hurt others emotionally, physically, if that emotional chaos turns into physical violence. If your nervous system is not grounded, okay? So that's what we mean by your nervous system needs to be grounded, because when it goes into survival mode, when it's activated, when it's triggered, you need to be aware of that, aware of the emotions that come with that, so that you don't go off and do something or say something that you might regret, something that might end a friendship or end a relationship or hurt someone or hurt yourself. So to ground your emotions, to ground your nervous system, is to create a safe pathway for those excess emotions, those aggressive emotions. Create a safe pathway for them to dissipate into the ground, maybe not the literal ground, as in electromechanics, but to dissipate into the ground more as a concept, so that those emotional charges don't hurt people, so that those emotional charges don't hurt yourself. The same way grounding protects the equipment and the circuit boards and the operators from electrical charges, grounding your nervous system protects yourself and protects others, your loved ones, protects them from emotional charges. Emotional charges come in the form of outbursts, trauma dumping, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, all sorts of ways. There's all kinds of forms of emotional charges. And it is each of us have the responsibility of grounding our nervous system. That starts with self-awareness, being aware of your triggers, being aware of your emotions, being aware of your tendencies, your behavior patterns, recognize them, know when your nervous system is activated, when you feel a strong emotion coming on, and being able to ground yourself, being able to ground your nervous system so that those stray emotions, those aggressive behaviors don't come out and hurt somebody. That's what it means. Creating emotional safety. That's what it means to ground your nervous system. People with a secure attachment style are very good at this. Now, this is important to remember. People with a secure attachment style still feel emotions. They still feel anxiety. They still get triggered into survival mode. But what separates them from insecure attachment styles, insecure people, is they have the self-awareness and the tools within to ground their emotions, to ground their nervous system, so that they don't act irrationally, so that they don't act out and hurt themselves or hurt someone else. They know how to ground those emotions, let them process, ground their nervous system. They know how to say, you know what, I'm feeling triggered right now. Let me walk away from this conversation. Let me walk away from this and take some time for myself to let my emotions get grounded. Let these aggressive emotions, this nervous system, which is in overdrive, give it time to process and dissipate so that I don't hurt someone, so that I don't hurt someone I love or hurt myself, so that I don't say something that I might regret later. That's what it means to have a secure attachment style, is you are emotionally grounded. Yes, you still experience anxiety, still experience emotions, still have triggers, but you know how to ground them. You know how to create a safe pathway for emotional safety. So how exactly does one ground themselves? How does a secure person ground themselves? Well, there's different ways to do it. Everybody has their own methods, but it can look like yoga, meditation, ice packs, exercise, going for a walk, journaling. It can look like anything, something healthy, something to ground those emotions, a safe pathway to dissipate those heavy emotions so that you don't pour them on to someone else in the form of verbal abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, etc. That's how you can ground yourself. Everybody has their own ways of doing it. People with secure attachment styles have their own ways of grounding themselves. They found what works for them. For me, grounding myself looks like going for a walk, singing. I really enjoy music. I really enjoy composing music, or just coming on here and having a conversation with you all, and just processing your emotions so that they don't spill over into your relationships, into your friendships. So that's what it means to ground yourself. I hope that was helpful, and I hope you have a better understanding of what it means to be emotionally grounded. If this was helpful, please like and subscribe. I really enjoy having conversations like this. And please share your thoughts and your stories in the comments. Let's get the discussion going. I love reading everybody's stories and everybody's experiences. Like I said, I've really enjoyed filming in the garage. It's a really nice night, but we'll be back in the studio in the next couple days. So you all take care, and I'll see you in the next video.